then we start writing off like your purpose in life, and you write it every day, and then you really try focusing on it. It develops discipline. It programs the subconscious mind, which is if you say something or focus on something over and over and over and over again, eventually part of your mental operating system or your paradigm will shift, will change, because you're inputting the information that you get to choose to input with resources, with consciousness. And it's really awesome, and it's really freeing, and it really, really works. It's completely changed our lives since we've been doing this. It's not exactly how this sounds because we're very authentic and we're very real, but the high level is we kind of write our ticket in life. We kind of say we want this, and then we go for it, and then it really happens. It's extremely powerful. When we were in the height of a lot of turmoil, a lot of riots that were happening in the town that we moved from to the town that we are in right now, it was basically our whole city and a lot of the state was turning. It was turning on itself. It was turning on us. It just was becoming really dark, and it was let go of the values and let go of what, the state, it was the state of Minnesota, what it stood for, and what was great about it. People just allowed divisive energy to come in through media, through propaganda, through a lot of things, and then let that divisive energy come into their lives, and then they took it out on other people. It's kind of like, a teacher yelling at a kid, and then the kid goes home and yells at one of their siblings. It just doesn't make sense, right? We want to confront and we want to address. But we have what's called a New Year's spiritual and wealth retreat every year. This is going to be our ninth annual, I believe, next year. I think we did eighth this year. Was it
Okay.
seventh this year?
Eighth or ninth. Not
Okay.
sure.
It's going to be the eighth or the ninth next year. So we just had one, I believe it might have been the seventh,
Yeah.
um, but this was a few years back, and we were just living in chaos, turmoil, I guess. And it wasn't our doing. It was things that were happening around us. And we kind of have this ability to focus on what we want, not what we don't want. And so what we did is we kind of like, we know what we're having, and we worked our butts off to actually get where we were. We actually were in our 5,000 square foot studio. We were teaching classes, and it was awesome. It was one of my dreams, and we achieved that dream. But then all of a sudden, we didn't never plan on like the city that we're living in, which would change rapidly. So with all this turmoil and things that were going on, we're like, well, what do we want? Because we worked our butts off to get to where we're at. But then once we got there, things are changing, and this isn't what we want now. We want more. We want like we want the same values, but we want it different. So we did our New Year's retreat, and we did the PORO assessment, which is one of the assessments, the problem, outcome, resources, obstacles. And we wrote down exactly what we want. We want to like 20 acres. We want to live on a river. We want multiple houses, really ideally three houses. We want solar power. We want our own garden. We want our own chickens and animals. We want self-sustaining, like live off grid and live closer to God, nature, the way ancestors lived, the way life's meant to live, according to our hearts. Not we're
Yeah.
not telling everyone. We're saying this is for what we want.
Yeah.
And we wrote this, was it December 31st? We're going to say it's December 31st because we do it over the new year. And
Yeah.
January, February, March,
Yep.
April 8th is when, so 3 months and 8 days from when we wrote it down, we got all of that. So high level, this stuff works. Um, Success favors those who are the most disciplined and focused. Like, I think anybody can argue with that. It works. But the flip side, or the real side, is if you are not in alignment with what you want, it's basically, I'm just making up an example. I'm giving you guys a metaphor. It's like you guys want to marry the prince or princess or whoever you want to marry. You want to marry this perfect person. Like, I guess Cinderella. Let's use Cinderella. You want to marry the prince, but you're dirty. Since Cinderella, right? You're dirty. You have holes in your dress. You don't speak so well, eloquent. You're not an energetic equivalent because you haven't done the things you need to do to get to where you want to be. So that's what's so interesting about the cabinet orders. I would say I guarantee it works as long as you keep working it. However, we need to change. We need to be in alignment with it. For example, what we wanted There was no possible way we could have it where we were living. So sometimes it requires you to move states, countries, cities, change relationships, change jobs, change friendships, distance yourself from family or get closer to other family, um, develop things that no one in your ancestral lineage has ever done before, get out of your comfort zone. Like it depends on what your goal is. You're going to have to do some internal and external work to get there. So we've done it. We continue to do it. Um, what was so different this time for me is I was looking for something. I didn't know exactly what it was. And I went to the seminar for one thing, but this guy talked about this captain's orders and he was on like day 87. And it was a 90-day challenge. He challenged all of us.
Mhm.
I challenge you to write for 90 days what you want most in life. And it can refine, and you can have one thing, you can have 10 things. It's completely, totally freedom, but you got to really write it. And it has to be kind of special, sacred time. And you have to go after it. And if you keep doing that, it will happen. How can you not do it? And that's what all the greats of success, people that are the most successful people, but also people that help people to become successful, they say the same thing in their own words, but it's the same thing. So I started writing it, and I had a notebook that they gave. I got to 90 days, and I kind of like challenged myself. Let me double it. Let me get to 180. So then that was my goal, and I got to 180. But I'll tell you this, within the first 10 days, I felt different. 30 days, I felt different. But there was part of my unconscious mind's like, okay, cool, you're doing this for 30 days, but are you going to keep going? And I got to 90 days, I was a changed person. I always had discipline with physical training. I had discipline with my mind, but I didn't necessarily understand or know how to have it financially in certain ways. But doing the captain's orders every day, it's so easy. That's like the one thing that I do always. Then I can move my discipline, map across it to anything. I can do it financially. I can do it with clients. I can do it with getting out of comfort zones. So if you can do this every day, you really kind of can do anything. It's the key that unlocks so many things. So I got to 180 and I'm like, 270. Let's do the next 90 days. It's like I hit the 90 and let me fill it up again. And then I got it to 270. I'm like I never even thought about a year because I was trying to get to, 90 days. That was the challenge. I'm gonna make it to 90 days. And I got to year one, which is really year two. Because if you start 366 days, that's day one, year two. So I got to year two, and from that things would evolve. That's where I'm saying like I didn't originate the idea of the captain's orders as far as like writing down what you want most out of life, but I've evolved it to 8 different generations and levels, and Amanda is a big part of that and helped me out with that. Thank you for watching and sharing time together. If you want to see more videos like this one, then go ahead and click on the subscribe button, and please share this video with somebody that you care about if you feel like it can really help them. If you're looking to receive one-on-one coaching for either yourself or your business, you can connect with us through the information in the description of this video below. I want you to know that out of all the clients I've ever worked with, the most successful ones receive the most help. And if you are a helper yourself and you're called to develop past your own limitations and help others do the same, and you're ready to receive all of the training, support, and huge community, well, then reach out to us and we'll get you enrolled in one of our programs that's going to be the best fit for you. God bless you, and we'll see you in the next video.